This is Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell on the Forge Audio Network.
Welcome to this episode of Forge Daily. I'm your host, Mackenzie Barwell, checking in September 23rd, 2024. Matchweek 24 has come to a close, and Forge FC now 5 points above a second-place Atletico Ottawa following their 3-1 victory over Vancouver FC. So I'll get into that matchup today, what the result means for Forge and the standings, as well as who they'll be preparing for this coming weekend when they'll play Matchweek 25 at home. So with that said, let's get right into today's episode, beginning with a brief match recap. Now, as we know, away games haven't necessarily been Forge's strong suit this season. However, they would get the job done in Vancouver this past weekend, a complete shift from what we saw in Halifax the week prior. This time around, Forge FC just creating way more scoring opportunities and being clinical, most importantly, really taking advantage of them when they came. A couple people worth noting in the starting 11, 3 changes were made by Coach Bobby. The first being Bex back into the center mid, Amadou Kone up top alongside Benni Badibanga, and Malik Awolabi-Bellewu at left back. Now both sides had scoring opportunities early, however it would be Forge to open it up in the 36th minute when Dav Choiniere netted his 3rd goal against Vancouver FC on the season. He wasn't done yet. Later on, he assisted Noah Jensen with a cheeky through ball and won himself man of the match. Prior to that, Benni Badibanga scored the 2nd for Forge. His efforts were deservedly rewarded. He continually won his 1v1 battle on the left, made himself available, and Cisse saw it, cut the ball back into the 18-yard box for Benni to finish on a half volley. I talked to Dav after practice today. Here's what he had to say on the game and what it means for individual players to just step up for one another.
I think we were decent on the ball. We moved the ball pretty well. We find the right spaces to attack. I think on the right side we did a good job with Borges, Cisse, and me, finding the combination to break down their defense. I think we did a good job. So that was the positive out of our right side, and then the left side, Benni, second half really took advantage of his side and created a lot of chances for the team.
Well, my next question was exactly that. I wrote down the combination between you, Borges, and Cisse has been unreal, not only this game, but just throughout the season. So what's it like having that dynamic with them and knowing that's such a reliable connection? Yeah,
it's fun to play with good players. They're going to show up every day and try their best. That's all we're asking for all of us. And we're trying to have fun together, move of each other and just finding the right spaces. And we have the advantage at the moment of the points. So by winning, we keep ourselves at the top, and that's what we're going to try to do for the rest of the season. And we saw that Ottawa drop a couple points yesterday, so that put us 5 points ahead, which is comfortable, but at the same time, it can turn around pretty quick. So just win the next game, and we're going to be in a great spot to lift another trophy.
Did I see this correctly that your brother also scored that day?
He did a good header, which never happens. He's like me, you can't header the ball really well. Man, he did a great job. What a goal.
Did you talk to him after?
I just texted him because I was on my way to the game. Because in Switzerland, it's 9 hours difference from Vancouver. So there was a big difference.
That's a whole day.
Yeah, there was a big difference of time. So, and that's
Something in the air.
I'll probably call him today.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the Choiniere brothers. I think it's pretty safe to say a successful weekend for them both. As Dav mentioned, Benni took advantage of the space and 1v1 battle he had on the left. Here's what Benni had to say on that and the conversation that you may have caught between him and Vancouver's goalkeeper, Callum Irving.
Taking my chances and 1v1. A 1v1 situation in football, you have to pass 1 time or 2, and when it's goal, everybody remember that. So even when I miss, I don't really care. I just press the delete button and on to the next one.
There was one instance where you took a guy on, you beat him, and then you shot it bottom right corner, but the Vancouver goalkeeper just got a hand on it, and then you ran over to him. I think you had a conversation, did you?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I told him, you had enough save now. You can let me score? And then the next one, it was in.
With this win, Forge FC have clinched a playoff spot in the 2024 CPL season and the important advantage of a home playoff game. So you can count on at least 1 game unfolding here at Tim Hortons Field. Forge now 5 points ahead of Atletico Ottawa following Ottawa's 1-1 draw to Pacific FC. With regards to other results unfolding around the league affecting both the CPL Shield race and the race to that 5th and final playoff spot, Halifax and Valour drew 1-1 over the weekend, both teams missing a vital chance to gain ground in the standings. But what is perhaps the most significant to Forge was Cavalry's 2-0 win to York United. That put Cavalry just 1 point below Atletico in third, and York United in fourth, now 2 points below Cavalry. I spoke to Noah Jensen earlier today about the team's mindset approaching Vancouver FC, knowing that they had to bounce back from their loss to Halifax and gain some comfortability in the standings.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that, but mostly for us, we know that on the road this year, we haven't been as good as we want to. And I think at this time of the year, we all just kind of looked at each other and said, like, this is the time that we need to win these games and take maximum points on the road. So there was a lot of motivation from that. And, yeah, we're at the top of the table, but we know that we have to keep winning to keep ourselves there, and that's all the motivation I think we really need. So going into the game, we felt really confident. We put the last result behind us, and, you know, it's like Vancouver's always going to be a difficult game, but Dav scoring the first half really helped us, and then being able to put a second one away and then a third was about as good as you can get. I think for us too, especially, you know, with Ottawa still having to play the next day, it was nice to set the tone, I guess, to show that, you know, regardless of the result, we're still always going to be in first place. And I think that's the main message, is to show the rest of the league that we hold the cards and we're capable of winning these games to keep ourselves at the top of the table. And hopefully that's something we can continue doing so that we don't have to look back and worry about the other results in the league.
One other thing I thought was worth noting was the conversation had on One Soccer during the Matchweek 24 recap. They talked about different things with Forge, but two in particular stood out to me. One being the depth that this team has and the confidence it must give them, having the ability to experiment with different attacking looks. For example, Amadou Kone alongside Benni Badibanga. But also the experience that they can rely on going into high-pressure regular season games like these ones, or just into the playoffs. Here's what Noah Jensen had to say on both of the subjects.
The best part about our group is that, you know, we could have any 11 players starting any day, and I think everyone's confident enough that we're going to win. I know that with our group, we're strong enough mentally that one or two guys can slot into the lineup with ease, and it's not really going to change our style of play. It was nice for Amadou to get the start. I know he's probably happy about that. And, yeah, he did well. Benny scored a great goal. He had a couple nice nutmegs, so happy for him to be back in his best position on the wing. And, yeah, it was just a good result for the entire group, I would say. I think we have guys on a team that have played in all the big games that this league has ever offered. So that's the experience that we have. We know we can tap into when we need it. And it makes these games that everyone else would see as pressured just any other game. You know, obviously we want to win them just as we would any other game in the season. And hopefully we can do that with the last 4 ones going forward.
Well, Forge will now look ahead to York United this weekend. As I said, they come off a 2-0 loss to Cavalry, but they've proven throughout the season that they can compete with top teams. The last time York and Forge matched up, it was that 0-0 stalemate at York Lions Stadium. It'll be interesting to see, though, how this one unfolds given the differences with each side. For example, the departure of Austin Ricci for York, but also the additions with Forge having Victor and Orlandis now. I'll talk more in depth about this match and that in particular with Coach Bobby on Wednesday for our episode of Behind the Beard, but I will wrap up today's episode of Forge Daily there. Thank you so much for listening, as always, genuinely, and I will be back to check in on the audio network soon.
This has been Forge Daily with Mackenzie Barwell. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share.
I'm curious to know how you spend your red-eye flight. Do you try and sleep, or do you just soak it and know that it's not going to happen?
I try to sleep as much as I can. Didn't sleep last night though. So uncomfortable on the plane.
Did you hear about what happened? So we flew WestJet and then they put us on a swoop plane.
Was there a lot of turbulence?
I thought I was going to die. Like, that was the worst. I swear I woke up with like an hour left in the flight and we were dropping for like 10 seconds. And then we like veered to the left and I was like, okay, we're dead. Like, because that's the first time I've been on a flight thinking that I was going to die.
Really?
Yeah.
It was that bad?
Yeah, like I was thinking like Seb is going to have to build this club up from the bottom because we're all going to be dead.
Me, on those kind of moments when I have no control on what is happening, I'm chill. So, yeah.
You didn't care?
No, if
Noah and Dav were like, we're going down.
But if you go down, what do you want to do? It's God's choice. So if I die, I die. So
it's God's choice.
Yeah. I was just praying like, thank God for everything. And if I die today, that's your plan. So okay, let's go.